The fact that you jumped out of a car not once, but twice.
Like I just started making like sleep apnea noises a little bit.
Yes, so what happened was I'm not a huge drinker.
I don't even say the word demon.
Really?
Yeah, I'm afraid to say the word demon, even though I just said it twice. But,
If you say it 3 times, like I do have a lot of skulls around. Something might happen.
I don't know if that's a joke or not. So I'm not taking it seriously.
I am totally kidding.
When I'm at home, because my girlfriend knows what I'm talking about, I'll just be like the D word. Like I won't say
The D.
Yeah, I won't say it because I don't necessarily believe in all religion. I'm not gonna say I'm an atheist. But
Okay.
I am picky and choosy about what I believe in. But there are a lot of people who say like if you say certain things, it can open portals, or like if you watch certain things and open portals, I'm like, fuck it, I'll watch it. Like I'm not scared because I don't believe that. That's what I mean. Like I'm picky and choosy.
Right.
But I do believe that if you say things, like it can do something, and I don't want. And the reason I believe this is because actually a few months ago, it was over the summertime. Actually, I was watching. I don't know what got into me, but I watched 2 videos on YouTube. And one was the top 5 worst demons in something. And
Did you look this up on your own?
Yeah, on YouTube. I don't know
Okay.
what got into me. And the other thing was like top 10 worst demons. And see, I said it 2 more times, and I
You're fucked.
I'm
Like
only
you're done
saying-
for.
Yeah, that's honestly how I feel, but I'm doing it for you guys. So.
You're like, I did it for this podcast, but now I'm fucked forever.
But like so, and right after that, like the day after, my girlfriend started seeing shadows.
Stop.
The blinds started. One of the blinds one night during the week at like 3. You know, it's very cliche for things to happen at 3 a.m.
Right.
But it was like 4 a.m. The middle because we have
That's witching hour, isn't it?
something like that.
I think it is.
We have a screen door for the back patio, and it's like really big, 2 big windows and a screen door or a sliding door. And so we have drape, like blinds going over the whole thing, and the middle one, directly in the middle, just started swaying at like 4 a.m. back and forth. And
Oh God.
we started hearing that same. It was either that night or the next night. We heard something when we were in bed in the other room, and after that, I was like, "Fuck this!" And I hit up a pastor, and because I was gonna
Stop.
have him come test out the apartment, and I ended up saging the apartment as well. Even though some people were like, "Don't do that; it's gonna make it worse." Some people were like, "No, it'll work." I was like, "I'm taking all chances." So
You're doing all the things, all the precautions.
Yeah, everything. I was like, if it doesn't work, I got the pastor coming on Tuesday. So
You have a backup plan. You are ready to go.
I don't play about that stuff. I mean, luckily it didn't. Like it worked. After that, things stopped. And I do believe coincidences, kind of. No, I don't. Not really. But I don't really want to believe that there was something there. But
Right.
It just so happens that it happened after I watched that stuff, and random things that never happened there started happening. And my girlfriend never sees anything, so when she saw the shadows, it was kind of creepy because she never sees stuff.
Yeah.
I believe I saw something too, like a shadow, but I just kind of played it off because I be seeing shit.
I've heard the more you're open to it, the more things will happen. And I feel like I'm not open to it. I'm like, I don't want it. I'm not into it. I'm going to believe it's not there.
I've heard that as well, and I've tried to be like that, but it's like my mind's like, no, it's there.
Yeah. Like something's happening right now.
Yeah, but like it makes sense if you think about it, because the people who would like be closed off to it, you either wouldn't believe that it's happening, because if it's not real, you wouldn't believe that it's happening. So it's not happening because it's not real. But if it is real, they say spirits dwell on energy that they are given. You're not giving it the time of day, so it would leave you alone.
Yeah.
So like it does make sense that they wouldn't mess with people who don't pay it any mind. So
I feel like I'm like this deeply in denial. So they'd be like, you know what? This isn't working here.
my grandma's the same way, and it doesn't work for her. At least in because like I said, I believe in this stuff, but it doesn't. She tries to ignore it. That shit don't work. She just need to get someone to bless the house. That's all her.
Maybe you should call that pastor and be like, hey, can you make a few pit stops?
I really should.
Can you do a tour?
I never thought about it. I should.
Oh my gosh. I also heard that you're not supposed to like buy like mirrors, I guess, like secondhand. Apparently it can be like a portal to hell. That's what I've heard.
Wait, what do you mean so what are secondhand mirrors?
So like if you go to like a flea market or like you go to like somebody's like yard sale or something and like you're not supposed to buy like a mirror. Supposedly, I guess like spirits can attach themselves to mirrors. I don't know. That's what I've heard. I've never done it.
Well, that would make sense, kind of, because they do a bunch of crazy shit that you wouldn't believe they could do. Like, it's just a mirror. Like, they attach themselves to a mirror. That's kind of odd. But, I mean, now that I know, I'm going to believe it, because I don't want to take a chance
So maybe
on
don't
it.
buy a mirror at a flea market. I don't know.
I only like the bathroom mirror anyway, so I don't got that issue. So
You don't need like a floor length mirror before you leave the house. You don't do like a full checkup. Wow. So episode 3. So glad. So episode 3, Dammit Danii podcast. I have Joey Purse here. We just really dove into spirits. I don't know. It just worked out that way. I love it. I love where it began. So random. Random as fuck. So, I mean, let's just jump from spirits to comedy. I feel like, I don't know if it's a natural progression. We're just going to go with it.
gotcha.
I want to ask you some questions about it. So I want to ask you about starting in comedy. Like, what was your inspiration? How long has it been? What got you started?
So I started stand-up. The first time I touched the stage was in 2016, but
Okay.
I only touched the stage about a handful of times that year.
Okay.
I didn't actually really start until June, the end of June of 2017.
Okay.
But the reason I even did it in the first place was because I was depressed in college, and
Okay.
I just wanted something else to do. That's kind of how it happened. So basically what happened is I knew my cousin. My cousin was hosting a comedy show because I have a cousin that does comedy.
Okay.
And I went to his show, and then I used to make videos with one of my friends on Facebook and YouTube. We would make comedy videos.
Okay.
And after the show, we were just talking to him, and he was like, all right, cuz. He was like, you guys do one half, you got to do the other half too. You have to. You got to do both. And I really didn't want to do it, to be quite honest.
Really?
Like, yeah, I was never interested in it. I actually hated stand-up.
Really? So you didn't like
Yeah.
watching it?
Nope.
You weren't into it? Like, didn't have like a favorite stand-up?
So the only comedian I watched at the time was Kevin Hart. And
Okay.
Before Kevin Hart, before I really started watching him, I didn't watch stand-up because every stand-up that my mom and like my stepdad would show me, I didn't find funny. I didn't get it. I just didn't understand stand-up. I didn't get the enjoyment because I was like, why would I listen to you tell jokes when I could tell a joke? Like, people could tell me jokes. Why would I watch people tell jokes? I just
Okay.
thought the whole thing was stupid. And I still do, to be quite honest.
So do you not like hanging out, like watching other people perform? Do you do your own thing and leave?
I'll watch people perform. I actually do enjoy watching people perform whenever I feel like watching stand-up.
Okay.
So, I do go to shows to support friends and stuff like that because I enjoy watching my friends and, locals perform.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as people who've already made it, I don't really care to see them perform.
Okay.
I'm not big fans of too many people, not because I think they're bad,
Right.
but because I just don't like stand-up. Honestly speaking, I don't find a lot of stand-up to be funny, so I don't really get too much enjoyment out of it.
Okay.
So I don't really find a lot of touring headliners they just don't make me laugh as far as their stand-up goes. Now, I may follow them on social media because as people, I like watching them and I find them funny that way. But
Right.
as far as watching stand-up, as far as headliners go, I have to really like them to really go out. But locals and people that I know personally, I'll go see them because I enjoy watching them.
Okay. So once you kind of started doing it a little bit, did you feel like you were catching the bug a little bit? Were you like, I like this? Or was it something you started to kind of push through? How were you feeling about it?
So when I first was doing it, so like I said, I didn't finish the story.
Sorry, we jumped around a little bit.
We did. But so basically that night I went home and I made some phone calls because I wasn't sold on. He was like, do my open mic, and you can just whatever. I don't remember what else he said after that. I wasn't sold on it. I went home, I made phone calls, and I thought about it all night. My friend was sold on it. He was like, yeah, let's do it. I wasn't sold on it till the next day.
Okay.
And so I did it a couple times. I didn't really feel anything up from it. I was like, I'll try it out, see if I like it. I never exactly liked it. Didn't exactly dislike it.
Okay.
Till this day, I still don't exactly like it.
Okay.
It's more on the dislike now than it was before.
Really?
Yeah. But it's more so on the I don't really care for it side.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with stand up. I never actually exactly felt like, yo, this is it. It's just something that I've been able to kind of just do.
I don't know if I was expecting that response, honestly. So like I feel like it's very interesting to hear your perspective on it, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever expects that.
No, but like I don't know. I feel like everybody's attitude towards that is very different. Like
agree.
I feel like everybody's opinions on it and like how they treat it and like their writing styles. Like I find it very interesting and very fascinating how everybody handles it differently.
Yeah, that's very true. I enjoy studying how other people do stuff in stand up as well, because like you said, everyone is extremely different with it.
It's so different.
Yeah, because like what I was told by like a couple Pittsburgh OGs when I first started is don't worry about how other people's process. Don't worry about them, because what works for them may or may not work for you. You have to figure out what works for you, and it's completely different for everybody.
Right. It is. Like I feel like it's so different because it is just you and it's your craft and it's your jokes and it's what you're doing. So everybody does it so differently. So I want to talk about some of these shows you're producing, since we're talking about comedy. Okay. Yeah. So I've seen that you've done like hot pepper shows and weed shows. Like I want to talk about these different shows you're producing and kind of like why you're choosing to do these different things, because I think it's awesome. Like they're so different than the norm. It's not just you're not going to a basic comedy show.
Right. Okay, so
how are you coming up with it? You know what I mean? What's the inspiration for it?
So there's a few things.
Okay.
So I've always wanted something different to do in Pittsburgh as far as comedy shows, because since I started seriously doing it, we've only had like one game show called like the Stand Up Get Down.
Okay.
There was like another one, but it wasn't as consistent. It only lasted a couple shows. It didn't last very long. And we had the Stand Up Get Down at Arcade Comedy Theater. And,
okay.
I never got to do it, and my friend never got to do it, and some other people never got to do it. But other than that show, that was the only game show around. Eventually, because for people like me, like I don't like stand up that much, so I'm not gonna go to every stand up show all the time and just be completely satisfied with all of them, because I just don't. I'm gonna get bored.
Right. You want something more than just the basic show.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there are more people out there who are like that. They want some people won't go to shows because it's just stand up. I want something else.
Right.
So I've been wanting to come up with like a game show concept for a few years now, and I could never put together the best format. But I don't even think that was the main issue. The main issue is I didn't have a venue to do it at. But
okay.
But that's kind of where the inspiration comes from as far as developing these shows that are kind of like game shows. And I'd like to be a game show host one day.
Really? Is that like a dream for you?
Yeah, it is.
That's awesome.
Because I like talking trash and seeing people suffer.
Great combination.
So I want to be a game show host. And I'm competitive. I have a competitive nature, and I think sports are cool, but I feel like for me, sports are more so like a pastime. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I don't care I'd like to comment sports games, like commentate on them. But like on YouTube, they'll have like YouTubers play each other. Like I'd like to commentate on that, or more importantly, be a part of that. But that's neither here nor there. So yeah, I like the competitive aspect of it, and I enjoy laughing. And I was like, why not try to host my own game show? That's where the inspiration comes from.
Okay.
But especially with there only being one, and I couldn't get on it, so. I saw there's this comedy club in Chicago, the Lincoln Lodge, and they were looking for submissions. And at the time, I was considering moving out. Well, I was supposed to, wasn't a consideration, move out Chicago. So I emailed the manager my show pitch, and I actually hit up Kevin. I don't remember exactly what I asked Kevin, but Kevin helped me develop the idea, and I pitched it. It got denied at first, because it was the pepper idea.
Okay, I was going to say, which one was it?
It was the pepper idea.
Okay.
It got denied at first because he said he really wanted to work with me, but there were already a few shows that had to do with spicy foods there. And then he said there was another one that was close to there. So he was like, I want you to repitch me a show. I just won't take that one.
Okay.
And so basically I kept the idea, but I changed the pepper aspect, and that's how the weed came in.
Okay.
I got a sponsorship for it, and so it ended up working out better that way. He took that show. It went very well. The first 3 shows it was only for 5
That's
shows.
awesome.
So the first 3 shows we basically sold out. The third show we had a down show. I'll take some of the heat on that. I messed up the promotions, and then the 4th show, Kevin and I co-produced it. From what I hear, it was a good turnout. I wasn't there, but I heard it was a good turnout. So
Yeah.
But then I didn't keep it up because I couldn't keep going back and forth to Chicago at the time.
It's a little bit of a drive.
Yeah.
A little bit of a journey. Yeah.
A little bit of money, so here and there. But that's how those 2 came about.
Okay.
So I've been wanting to I brought one back to Pittsburgh. It didn't do too well, but again, that was on my promotional behalf. I was going through some stuff. I couldn't promote it how I wanted to. But the THC I treat more so it was like my baby. So
Okay.
So it well actually we did the hotspot before I did the show in Chicago down in Robinson.
Okay.
And it went over pretty well. It was fun. So basically getting to the reasons for these shows.
Yes.
Is because people are like, when they meet me, they're like, "Oh, you're a stoner. What kind of weed you like? What's your favorite? I'll get you some free weed." I was like, "I don't want it."
No, thank you.
Like, I'm not interested. And they're like, "What, for real? How do you run a weed show?" I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't smoke weed." And they're like,
Wait.
"What?" Exactly.
Wait.
Exactly.
Whoa. Okay, so you're misleading me because, like, I see you on Instagram pouring shots into people's mouths. Like, do you not drink either?
No, I drink.
Okay.
I don't smoke though.
Interesting. So, like, do you give it to the? So, do you give it to the performers? Do you give it to the audience? Is it both? Okay. Okay.
So basically, how the show goes is the THC show, because I have it sponsored. I get a product to give away. I can raffle it, but I choose to give it away. And then to whichever. Okay, so here, how it works is that one comic is voted back up to the stage to do a 5-minute improv spot. But
Okay.
the improv spot is decided by the comic with ideas from the audience. So the audience members have to throw ideas at the comic, and the comic, whosever idea he chooses, they get the giveaway. So that's how that works.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's easy. I don't have to count tickets, count votes or nothing. I don't get done with none of that.
The work's done for you.
Yeah.
Very game show-esque.
Exactly.
You're just getting that practice in. You're ready for your game show.
Exactly. I'm gonna be ready soon. Camera ready soon. But so that's basically how it works. And it's the same thing with the hotspot. Except there's no weed. They have to bite the pepper. Like they choose a topic.
Okay.
But except the crowd doesn't get a giveaway prize. They bite the pepper and they have to do that topic for 5 minutes. But they can leave the stage at any moment if they can't take it. Or if they drink water or milk that is provided, it's automatically done. You don't win the hotspot. So
So if they do that, no go.
yeah, it's over.
Oh.
Hotspot's over. So
Man.
we actually, the last hotspot we did, we had a local comic on it. She asked me, does she have to eat the habanero because of personal medical reasons? So I was like, no, you can eat something else that's really hot as well. It doesn't have to be as hot as the habanero. I prefer people to eat serranos if you can't take the habanero.
Okay.
But she was like, that's cool. Like, she was gloating to me beforehand. She was like, I know how to eat serranos. And I'm like, okay.
Like all right,
Yeah,
weird
like,
flex, but okay.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a certain way to eat peppers. I thought you just ate them.
Right. I would think there'd be one way.
She told me the secret to escape the heat is
Okay.
if you eat around the seeds. If you eat the seeds, like the middle or wherever the seeds are, I don't know. I don't pay that much attention because I'm not eating them. And she said that's where all the heat's at. But if you eat around it, you'll still get the heat, but you won't get as much. So she ate around the fucking seeds.
So she's like nibbling around
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah, now it's making that upset me because I'm like, you're cheating.
Yeah, it's like you're not actually participating, ma'am.
You're not. You tried to find a loophole, but like, you don't get bragging rights because you cheated. But I mean, she's a cool friend. I'm not trying to throw shade or nothing.
No.
But yeah, it was still a fun show and it was fun watching it, but it wasn't as fun as it could have been. Because the point of the show is literally for my personal enjoyment. I like spicy foods. I can't take like real heat though.
Okay.
And I know I can't, but I like watching other people suffer.
So you're not getting up there doing it.
No. I will. like here's the thing is because it is my show and I would participate. If I am not hosting it, I will participate if I get voted in because I honestly think I would have fun doing it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And, it would be an experience for me as well. But because I have to bring on the closer, I don't do it. And so I just watch other people get fucked up.
Smart.
It's fun for me. And the same thing with the weed thing is I like watching other people get high and be stupid if they're stupid. And so it's just literally it's a selfish reason that these shows are set up the way they are. It's literally for my personal enjoyment.
Really breaking down what's actually happening here.
I'm telling you what's actually happening. So I'm making you my slave for the night. So I can play games like my gladiators and I just watch you. That's just kind of how that's literally it's my personal enjoyment. There's nothing else to it. I just like to watch people endure just make themselves look stupid or hurt themselves. But in a non-serious way. So like they can get away with looking stupid off of weed and not be judged in that kind of area or like
right.
If it's too hot for you, we're not gonna make fun of you like
maybe a little.
Yeah, like we'll make fun of you, but like we're not gonna bring it up like say if I ate a pepper in there and we're having like a get together and then everyone's fun, everyone's drunk and stuff and we're all joking around and then I throw up because the pepper's too hot, everyone's laughing. You're not gonna bring it up like yo look at this guy did.
Right.
He threw up on the stage. You're not really exactly gonna bring that up. At later moments, like it'll come up rarely, but like if we're just all together and you're like, hey man, you remember when you threw up in the kitchen? Like it's not gonna come up as often. So
yeah.
It's a little bit of a safer space. So if that makes any sense. I don't know.
No, it does. I think it's like I think you're creating a very open space to be creative, be free. It's a fun environment. It's different. It's not the same thing.
That's another thing I like to do with my shows. That's one thing I had in mind when I was making the shows is I want everyone to have fun, not just the comics. I want everyone to feel involved in some sort of way because I've realized in stand-up when the crowd has fun because you're having fun, but whenever you let the crowd feel like they're involved, they have the most fun because they feel like they are a part of something bigger.
Right.
And that's kind of what I want to do with the audiences for any show that I produce. I don't like producing regular stand-up shows because of that. A lot of people, they don't feel involved in something bigger. They're just like, I'm just enjoying this comedy show. Yeah, the guys were good. I had a good time, and they go about their night.
Right.
They may talk about a comic or whoever on the show, maybe, but they're not exactly. There's a strong chance that they're not going to exactly remember that night.
It's not a memorable thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So like, I kind of just want to give people an extra memory. So
I love that.
that's like.
It's a big takeaway. They're a part of it. It's a good time. Everyone's having a good time. And I think there's a lot to that you're thinking of the whole dynamic. It's not just who you're putting on stage.
Yeah, like that's the number one reason I wanted to do something different. Watching people suffer is number two. But
It's a very close, almost number one.
It really is. It's almost number one. I'm not that selfish. So. But that's how I came up with those two ideas. But the show I'm producing next week, is it cool if we get into that?
Yeah, let's talk about it. Yes.
So I'm producing a show next week at Arcade Comedy Theater called Blowing Up.
Okay.
I came up with Blowing Up a couple months after I came up with Hotspot and THC.
Okay.
So literally, I came up with those in March of last year. I came up with Blowing Up in May.
Okay.
I didn't really speak too much of Blowing Up, but Blowing Up was I was always the most anxious to do it because that one was the one I'm kind of like most excited for that one.
Okay.
Because there's more of a help factor in it. Like there's more of a beneficiating factor in it. So Blowing Up originally started as a concept where it was a standard showcase, but it would be recorded and I would make a platform because I want to make a platform where people get featured on and can get exposure from. Whether it's just making sketches and bringing comedians on or people with any art in any way, or just uploading stand-up clips. So I wanted to make this platform, and the platform we call Blown Up as well. And so basically I would record their sets and I'd cut it up into like 15 to 45 minute jokes, 1 to 2 per comic. And I would also give these comics their sets that I recorded, but I would ask them if I could use the jokes that I chose to put on the channel so they could get more exposure from the free range algorithms from the TikTok algorithm and Instagram Reels and now Facebook Reels. So that was the original idea behind it. because it could potentially help them a little bit more. As to where the one was just, it's more for memories and bragging rights, is like this one can possibly lead to more opportunity than the other ones would. And so I was always more excited for this one. But I further developed the idea and I made this one a game show as well.
I love it. Everything's based around a game show.
So it's comics go on there and they do shorter sets as they originally would have done. And then after the stand-up part, the game show starts. So there's 3 games. Next week we have, and the games they're always going to change. Maybe not, say if it's like a monthly thing, maybe not the next month, but they may change every other month type thing. So the games won't be the same. Maybe one of them will be. Have you ever watched the show Guts?
Yes.
So, I really like Guts and Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh, Legends
so
of the
you remember
Hidden
the
Temple.
aggro crag? Mm-hmm. So you know how the games before the aggro crag would change, but the aggro crag was always the same.
Yeah.
So basically, that's kind of a model that I'm going with blowing up. There's 3 games. The last one more so will stay the same, but it'll be changed in different ways. And the first 2 they'll just change.
Okay.
So this month we have. I want to do a speed date with the audience. So each comic will have 2 minutes to speed date the audience. And at the end of each comics, at the end of the 3 comics, there's 3 comics on the show, of their speed date, the crowd will choose who they would want to speed date the most out of the 3 people. And then that comic would get a point. The second game is called We Got a Situation. And basically I'm going to be making videos to where a comic would pull a number out of a whatever, and that video will get played on the projector in a situation, and that comic will then have like a minute and a half to 2 minutes to tell the audience how they would get out of that situation. Hopefully they'll make it funny.
I love that.
And at the end of those 3 comics of that segment, the crowd can choose to give a point to whoever they want. In this game, everyone can get a point, or one person can get a point, or no. One person.
You're just done.
No, one person has to get a point.
Okay, someone has to win.
Someone has to win, but anyone can. Like they all can. As for the speed date, is just one, and this one anyone can. And then the third one, I took the concept of hotspot and THC, and I implemented it into be the main game for this one. But instead of it, I was like, how can I make it different? And I was like, you know what? I could just interchange what they have to consume. So
okay,
I was like, it could be a pepper, or it could be some sort of THC, or it could be something very dry, or it could be something very cold, something sour. So I was like, I'm gonna keep that aspect. I'm gonna keep it, and the item is gonna change.
Is it a secret?
This, I'll tell you guys off air.
Okay.
Because I know what it's going to be. But this one, it is not, I will say it is not a pepper and it's not THC. I did make it different for this one.
Whoa, I'm excited.
So that's, but this game, the last game is worth the most points. So even if you win the 2 games prior, you could still lose. Kind of like Harry Potter with this golden snitch. You put in all that work, you get 140 points, boom, I got it. 150, suck my dick.
Fuck you.
Exactly. It's a very frustrating thing. So that's the concept of the show for next week, and I'm very excited for it because I got to keep my original aspect to where they're still getting the clips, their clips, and the cut up clips, and they also get to have fun afterwards with the game show, and the audience gets to be more interactive with it as well. So.
I love it. There's so many different aspects to it. And like, I know personally, like loving comedy, like I like seeing people's like just a minute of like their set just to kind of see what they have, what jokes they're doing. So like, I think it's cool that you're offering it to those comedians to put online and to showcase their talents, as well as having, different games and different things that you're creating. I don't know. I think it's a cool like mixture of things.
I appreciate that. I enjoy the whole reason I want to upload it is because a lot of comics won't upload it themselves. Mm-hmm. And I think in today's age of media and entertainment in general, you have to utilize the internet. And a lot of comics will not. A lot of comics will be like, I don't know how to use it, and they'll just give up. And it kind of frustrates me because like, bro, it's so simple. You just got to apply yourself, but they don't want to. So I was like, well, I mean, I like to try to see everyone get in some sort of like a chance,
right?
So whether if you get 100,000 views on this video on TikTok, whether it brings you an extra opportunity or not, you're out there. Like you had 100,000 people see your video, so you had an extra chance with that, because whether you did it yourself or not. So I just want to see people get fair opportunities in however they can. So that's where that comes from.
I think that's awesome.
And the whole, because I like early on, well, not early on, when I was really trying to figure out who I liked as a comic and who I enjoyed watching, I enjoyed the comics where like their jokes really showed their personality, and I enjoy when people were really being their authentic selves, and that's kind of why I have the improv games, because I enjoy, like, when people are doing stand-up, sometimes like you can see who someone is in their jokes, but sometimes they'll be so sticking to their set that you don't exactly get to see their personality full force
And who they are.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I like to have the improv game, so you'll see who they are 360 instead of 180. And it'll help. I think it just helps, because if people like your stand-up, they'll more than likely like you just as a person as well.
Right.
So I kind of like that aspect of it too.
I think it's a well-rounded way to think about it, and
Yeah.
just everything and every different thing that it can be, you know, kind of bringing somebody up and giving them those opportunities. I love it. I think that's going to be awesome.
I hope so.
That's so exciting. So I want to talk about your TikToks a little bit.
Okay.
So I usually watch your reels, like on Instagram, and I saw the one that you did with like the sorting hat, and I'm like, fuck yes, I love this. I'm like, this is hilarious. Like, it was so good. Like, I loved it. And that was like that was your recent one, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, this is so cool. And I was like, I feel like it's something like everybody kind of thinks about with like the sorting hat. Like, I'm like, you know, I feel like he's kind of like a sassy asshole. Like, you know, like
Definitely
he's thinking
is.
about it and he's like, fuck this person. Or he's like, you're a bitch. You need to go here. So like I got on your TikTok page. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, this is all about Dragon Ball Z, I think. And I'm like, I know nothing about Dragon Ball Z. So I want to talk about it a little bit. Let's get into it.
Okay, so like I do post different content on on different pages, because
Okay.
it's a weird thing for me. Like, I have a friend who's told me to just post the same content, because you're going to work more by making different content. You're going to overwork yourself. But I tried to tell her, like, I do this because that content doesn't work here.
Okay.
And this content doesn't work there.
Right.
And and then neither of those content work here. So, and I don't understand why. Like, I genuinely don't understand why. Like, each page that I have, different content works for each page. So each page gets different kind of content. So like the more on the nerdy side, like the anime, video game stuff, that gets lumped into my TikTok, because that's what works there.
Okay.
And then like my more general stuff goes to my Instagram whenever I put the focus into it. I'm trying to focus more on it now. But like that's where you'll see my stand-up or just general sketches that I'll make. In my YouTube, I don't really post there as much, but when I was, things that I was making about music was really getting traction on there.
Okay.
That's where those videos weren't working as much on the other platforms.
That's so interesting.
I don't know how it works. I don't know
Yeah.
why it's working like that. But that's what, like, if you look at it in my pages, that's why they're all different, completely different kinds of content.
It's so funny you say that, because I was like, I'm hopping around, I'm like looking at your Instagram, because I do this with every guest. Like, that's kind of how like I pregame, I figure out like what I want to talk about. So I just start scrolling, and I'm like, all right, like I saw that video and I saw a few other ones. I'm like, all right, like I relate to this. I'm writing notes down, and then get to your TikTok, and I'm like, I respect this. I like this. I get it. But I'm like, I don't get it at the same time, because it's just not my thing. So I'm like, I don't know what this is. But like, I'm seeing like you're getting like thousands of likes. You're getting all these views. And I'm like, man, like this is just so I think it was different than what I was expecting. So like, I do think it's funny that you say that like each platform you are doing something a little bit different, but it's all a part of you.
Yeah.
Like it's all things that
is.
you're interested in.
Yeah, it's. I never thought of it like that, but literally each platform that I'm on is like a different part of me being shown. I never thought of that. And then when you put all pieces together, you have Captain Planet. And then... But yeah, I never thought of it like that.
But it was funny because
Very
like,
true.
so I'm like scrolling through your TikTok. I'm like, all right, like I see these videos. Then I saw the one you did with, like the head coach. I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. Like I love the one that you did where like you talked about being like the head coach and like defensive coordinator and like you were doing the different things, because it was like so many different like aspects in your TikTok. Like there's so many different styles. So I don't know. Like I thought that it wasn't what I was expecting for sure.
Yeah, like so. Okay. The person who's on Instagram, like the videos I put on Instagram are the videos I would like to make most.
Okay.
But so like the more general videos, the more like you saw the coaching stuff, like so the more relatable things that I've experienced, I want to make more of those, but because those weren't taking off for me, I don't put as much time into them as like the TikTok stuff. And it gets hard because I have to, like, the stuff that works for me on TikTok, it's the same stuff. So it kind of stresses me out because I'm like, well, I've made every fucking video that I can about Dragon Ball.
Thing.
Or like whatever. I've made every video about this subject. How can I possibly make it different?
Right.
What can I possibly do this time? And it gets very hard. And so that's why I'll go a while without uploading sometimes, because it's hard for me to get ideas from like the same thing that I'm trying to pull from. It's like I pulled almost everything I can pull. But that stresses me out so much that I don't focus on anything else because I'm really trying to focus on that. So I won't upload at all on the other platforms because I'm like so dry with everything else. That's where like all of my creativity is going to the anime stuff, or video game, more so anime. But
so that's mostly where you're focusing on to create new content.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'm trying to change it a little bit. Like I have stuff written. Like on Monday, I wrote a bunch of videos. I just haven't had the time to make them yet. Tomorrow, I'm trying to dedicate all of tomorrow before my show tomorrow night to make like 7 videos.
Oh shit, that's a lot. Holy hell. No pressure, just 7 videos. Crank it out.
A lot of people, like, it gets tiring.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people don't assume that it does, but it definitely gets tiring making video after video after video. And you just kind of just don't want, like, your brain gets fried. It's like when you're just working really hard. Like for me, like in school, it was math. If I was working on math for 20 minutes, because I was very bad at it.
You're just like done.
Yeah, honestly. But like I would exert so much brain power into thinking about one question because I was so bad at math and like coming up. And after like 20 to 30 minutes, my brain would just be exhausted and I just wouldn't want to do anything. So like it's the same thing with videos. You make video after video after video, you just get exhausted and you just don't want to do it anymore for the day. You just kind of want to shut down.
Being creative's tough. Like it's hard when you're trying to come up with these ideas that are your own. And like you're writing these ideas, then you have to produce these ideas and you have to create them and then you have to edit them. Like I don't think people sometimes understand like what a process it is and how hard it is and how much hard work it is. It's a 9 to 5.
It's a lot, yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Like, a lot of comedians don't even get, like, I catch a lot of heat from younger comedians in our scene because I do a lot of online stuff. Like, some respect it, but a lot of them don't. And, like, they'll send shots at me for whatever reason. But I kind of just let it go because, like, I'm doing it and they're not.
Right.
It's like one of those, like, why would I exert the energy? Because like it's like you're throwing rocks when you live in a glass house kind of thing.
Exactly.
So I just don't exert, because that's not the kind of person I am unless you really take, like, to get me to go there, you have to say certain words or really disrespect me in some sort of way. Typically, I'll just let it go. But that happened. Like, a lot of people don't respect it, and it kind of bothers me because it's like a lot does go into this.
It does.
It's just not. It's a completely different skill set from going up at an open mic and writing and refining jokes. Like it's a different kind of vulnerability as well because you don't get to rehearse it. Like, you know, you're at an open mic and you could tell a joke 15 times before you perfect it, and it's good. Online, you have that one chance. You upload it, it's there.
Right. It's right. Like when you're going up, it's gone.
Right.
When you upload it, it's there.
It's there, and you can't refine it. All you can do is look to the next video that you're gonna do. That's all you can do. You can't do anything else. So if that video sucked, if it was butt, well then, you got to deal with it.
You move on. You make another one.
You have to. If it does, it's hard because you can dwell on that video. It happens to a lot of people. It happened to me.
That's what I'm gonna ask you. Yeah. if you take it personally, like if something you think is gonna do really well and it doesn't do well,
you just get crushed. You're crushed.
It's hard not to be, yeah, because you're like, yes, like this is such a good idea. Or like sometimes I post stories, I'm like, yeah, this is great, and you're like, oh, this really isn't great.
And I think like what we discussed earlier, I can't recall if it was on or off the air, but when we were discussing, I'd lost my train of thought. Okay, now I remember. How we were discussing, like, when it came to just feeling comfortable with things, like age plays a factor, repetitions plays a factor, experience. Yeah. I think it's like that with online too. Like, your expectations eventually just get shorter and shorter and smaller and smaller, and then you just kind of you learn to not care.
Yeah.
You're like, if it does well, it does well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If it does, it's cool. If it doesn't, oh well, next video. Like, you eventually will get there, and because you'll just learn to expect not the unexpected, but you'll learn to kind of just expect like the worst.
Right. You're like, you're not aiming high, but like you want it to do well. But if it doesn't, you're like, all right, like I just got to keep moving on. Like I can't let it hold me back from creating something else.
Definitely develop that by just doing it. And I'm sorry.
No, you're okay. Keep going.
I was going to say, for any creators who are trying to create, that's like the biggest advice. Because I had our friend, Andreas, I hate to name drop, but Andreas, he's a good example because Andreas he's a very hard worker and he powers through everything he has to power through. I don't know how the fuck he does it. He's like the Terminator. Honestly, I don't know how, but Andreas would go through confident things when he first started TikTok, because he would expect videos to do well sometimes, and sometimes they wouldn't, and then he would be like, dang, like, and he would just get really low. But I'm like, bro, you'll get through it. Like, eventually it's not going to bother you. You just have to learn to accept that every video isn't going to go viral.
Right.
Every video isn't going to get thousands of views. Every video isn't going to get a couple views, you know? You never know where it's going to land at. I was like, I have this many followers and I still get low views. And he just eventually he learned to just get over it, and it doesn't bother him anymore. But I think for all creators, like that happens to all of us. And you just you eventually learn to get over it, but you have to kind of you have to kind of push yourself through it. If you don't push yourself through it, then you're never going to get over it. If that makes sense.
No, it does. I feel like that's the hardest lesson you have to teach yourself. Because I feel like people can tell you that, but I feel like till you know it yourself and you can push through it and kind of move on, I feel like it's when you're like, all right, like I get it. Something clicks.
Yeah. Like for me, because my girlfriend is the same way. She really wants to do stuff like that, but she has like confidence issues with her videos. If things don't perform well and stuff like that, she gets down on herself easily. And I try to tell her what you have to do, and she said the same thing. Like sometimes she's like, it's easier said than done. And I'm like, it's true, but you just have to try. But I think with me is I developed
It's fine.
I developed an attitude to where like, yo, just do it, like Nike.
Just do it.
Yeah, no, I literally developed an attitude to where it's like, yo, just do it. Don't worry about what the outcome's gonna be. Just do it, because you don't know what's gonna happen. And so like when I developed that attitude, it got a lot easier for me to just do stuff and push through stuff, because it's like I don't care attitude about it.
Right.
And so I'm not really worried about it. Like if it does well, it does well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So it was easier for me because I developed that. I've come to learn that everyone doesn't develop that attitude. Everyone doesn't have that attitude.
Yeah.
And I feel like I naturally kind of have a little bit, so it was easier for me to develop it because I kind of don't care about a lot. So.
Well, it's a good thing to have because it's a hard thing to have, I think, just to not kind of care. But I also think it's kind of like a comforting thing for people to hear that everybody kind of feels that way. Because I feel like there is some type of way when you're feeling like, I want to upload this, but I don't know.
Just got to do it.
It's got to go through
Have
it.
to.
So I want to ask you, how many drafts do you have?
None.
None. That is so interesting. I've been asking like everybody this. I just think it's an interesting question to have as you're like creating. So you don't hold anything back. You just upload everything.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'll have drafts. Like the reason I don't have drafts is because I normally make enough. Whatever I need, I make it, and so I don't over make it. Like I give myself like I can't think, for lack of a better word, I give myself like a recovery time.
Okay.
So I'll make a couple videos, and that's like I'll come up with a couple ideas that night, and so I don't overly work myself or overly stress myself out. I'll make like 3 ideas. This is when I was at my peak. I'm trying to get back to this. It's happening, but it's not completely there yet. I would make like 4 or 5 ideas in a night, and
okay.
I would make 3 at the minimum, and I would develop 1 to 2 of them. I normally aim for 2 of them, and then I'll just let them sit. Like once I write them, I figure out the basic plot line. I just let them sit, and then the next day, I wake up, and then I'll further develop it, get it out the way, and so I just make enough for the day. So I don't overwork myself. That's why I don't have any drafts.
Okay.
Because I don't want to overly stress myself out.
No, it's understandable. So I think like more what I was thinking too is like you're not making stuff you're like, I don't know if I'm going to post that.
Yeah, no, like there's things, because I also have a thing, like I have like an energy, or not like a style. I have a style of video that I like to do. Like a lot of TikTokers have a bunch of drafts because a lot of them do trendy videos. I don't make trendy videos. Like everything I come up with is original. So I come up with original plot lines. I edit everything I do 100% unless I use the green screen, which is kind of rare anymore. But I edit everything that I do outside of the TikTok app. And so it's just a lot more effort that I'm putting into getting this video ready as opposed to someone who's just doing a trend. It's not as much effort that they're putting out to make these videos. They don't make them for as long. So they can have a bunch of drafts because it takes 15 seconds to lip sync a video.
Right. It's a completely different thing. You're writing almost a sketch essentially.
Yeah,
You're doing a mini sketch.
Just short sketches, yeah. And I try to put out 2 a night. And so I'm coming up with 2 completely different ideas a day, completely figuring them out, the angle, everything. So, and I'm editing them all within the same day too. And so it's just a lot more work. That's why I don't have drafts.
All right, so when we come back, we're for real doing the damn it moment. So the damn it segment has come. But before we do it, we are
Penn State.
Oh, I love Penn State. Have you? When I saw your clip about that, I was like, hell yeah. So I thought to throw that in. Just a little delicate throw in there.
Yeah, when you said, I paused because I was like, I don't know if she means this intentionally.
I definitely did.
You paused. I was like, she's not saying anything, so I'm going to say it.
You're like, All right, damn it moment. Let's get into it. I want to hear it. Okay. I'm so excited.
Okay, so you said I could talk about 2.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Because I couldn't really think. I had a problem thinking of some. So the first one, I was 20. This is pretty embarrassing. I was 20. I couldn't get in any of the clubs. I was hanging out with my best friend and his girlfriend and my girlfriend. And we wanted something to do, but we didn't know what to do. And his girlfriend was like, let's go to the South Side. And we were like, because I'm the youngest one in our friend group. I was like, I can't get in. And she was like, well, let's just walk around. And we were like, okay, we've never been. So we all started drinking. And I had the large bottle of like E&J, and I drank like half of it.
What is that?
Kevin. Can you explain what E&J is?
What is that?
It's a liquor. Liquor, yeah, liquor. You know that.
I don't know what E&J is.
Shit.
Okay, do I need to?
Do you know what Hennessy is?
Yes, I know what Hennessy is.
Or no, or Crown.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a knockoff Crown. It's
okay. So
it's like
it's a whiskey.
Tiered, I don't know.
Brandy. Okay. Okay.
I don't drink it anymore, but for good reason. And so it's kind of like a lower tier Crown.
Okay.
I had like the big bottle, like it comes in like a bottle this big and like a bottle like this big and a bottle like this big. Something like that.
Jesus. Okay.
I had the big one. I drank like half of it, and I was like an extreme lightweight. I was just drinking because I was like, I don't feel this, and I just kept going. And so we're walking on the South Side. Everything's cool. I'm clearly out of place. Like I'm not dressed like how anyone else is, because I was younger than everyone, and I wasn't exactly as mentally mature as everyone else, so I didn't really have like a going out dressing up style at all. I was kind of just dressing up. Like back then, I had like athletic, comfortable clothes.
Okay.
And so I was up there, some basketball shorts, some knee-high Nike socks, and like a regular tee. Like
and half a bottle of like liquor, just
in the car,
just thriving.
Yeah, just thriving. I'm stumbling, like, waving back and forth, just walking down the street. And, so I just, yeah, that's what's going on. I look like I just came off the court and drunk. So we're just, nothing really happened, but we're walking back to the car on the other side of Carson Street on the south side. And I was like, I feel like I'm going to throw up. And so my girlfriend's like, you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I found the nearest garbage can and it just came out. My friends just kept walking down the street. They didn't even wait. They left you? Yeah, they left me. I'm rude. I'm sitting here throwing up in the trash can, but that's not even the worst part. The worst part is it's coming out of my nose. Oh, God. So I had chicken wing. I was eating chicken wings when I was drinking the liquor because his girlfriend was like, "You got to eat when you drink, so it'll settle in your stomach, so you won't throw up." Yet didn't work. So
Bread. You need bread.
yeah, they were not breaded either. So the chicken wings were coming out of my mouth and my nose along with the wetness, and the trash can had holes on it. So this shit was just coming out.
Like a
man.
strainer.
Yes, exactly. This shit's just coming out. And it splashed on someone's shoes. I don't remember if it was my shoes or like someone that I was with. I can't remember. Someone's shoes got a little bit on it though. And but like I said, they all walked away. Some dude walked up to me and he was like, "Hey man, you need an Uber?"
Clearly you're not okay.
And I had to look at him dead in his eyes and be like, "No, I'm good." I was like, "My friends are here." And I had to walk down the street and I was like, "Why didn't you guys wait for me?" He just left me. So that's definitely a damn it moment for me because just I learned that day, do not overdo it with liquor, which I clearly didn't learn too good because I threw up off that same liquor multiple times in the future.
Sometimes you just got to do it a few times before the lesson really sinks in.
Definitely did after about the 6th time. Changed my liquors, and this is another liquor story. This is actually more recent, and this is when I really just changed. I had changed my habits. Like I had changed liquor. If I wanted to drink, I wanted to stop. Like last year, I really didn't drink until the pandemic because I got bored like a lot of people, and I started drinking a little bit more. There have been times, or this is going to be a little bit harsh, over the pandemic where I'm like, yo, are these alcoholic tendencies? But I was able to cut it off, so I would like, go clean.
Right.
But
so no, I mean,
getting
be responsible.
Yeah, I would realize when I'm doing it too much, but at this point I was like, because I was just drinking the wrong liquor to where it would make me have a short temper. I'm not gonna say like it made me I just have a bad mood. I just easily taken out of a good mood.
Quicker to
yeah. Exactly. So after this night, I was like, I'm not drinking for a while, and I stopped. I stopped really drinking, and then I changed my liquor. I'm trying to sound smarter than I am. I started to change the liquor that I consumed. But that night I got really drunk and.
So what's your favorite? I got to stop you. So like, what do you?
Now I like Captain Morgan.
Okay.
Which is terrible, but like it's disgusting. I don't like any. To be quite honest, I don't like any liquor.
I mean, does anybody really? I do like a tequila. I love a tequila shot. But other than that,
really, I like tequila.
But if we're gonna talk about it.
No, I like so straight. I don't like any liquor straight. But
Okay.
I do drink Long Island's. That's my favorite drink.
Okay.
I do like green tea shots as well. But
they're solid.
Straight, my favorite is Captain. I hate it all straight, but I like how Captain will put me in a really good mood. It'll put me in like a very talkative party mood, just very outgoing mood, and like it'll be very hard to take me out of that mood.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do take me out of that mood, it's not in like I want to get aggressive.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I don't know. It's just not like it's not a mood that you wouldn't necessarily want to be around. And like I said, it's really hard to take it out of that mood. So when I do drink now, because I don't like to do mixed drinks, I just like to just get it done, get it over with, and just drink it straight. I go shots.
Just get you there.
Yeah. I just go there. I don't even waste time with it. So
there's a purpose here.
There's one purpose, and I'm not playing around. Just trying to get to it. But this night, I don't remember what I was drinking. It was my birthday, and I mixed a bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'll still mix though. I don't care.
Fuck it. It'll happen.
But when I mix, I don't overdo it though. But this night, I had a short temper, and
it's your birthday. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. To be quite honest, it was my girlfriend. She had said something that really just made me upset. That had led to this is gonna sound really crazy. It led to me jumping out of a car twice.
Wait, what?
Exactly. Because I was so mad that I just didn't want to be around anyone.
Okay.
So we're downtown Pittsburgh coming to Tequila Cowboy.
Oh, okay.
I hopped out of the car for that time.
So was the car moving when you hopped out of it? Were you tucking your, like, were you like getting out?
The first time, I want to say it was not moving. First time. So I want to say it's a clean get out the first time.
Okay.
And I don't remember how, I think I was just standing there. I don't remember, but somehow I get back in the car. But we're on the way back, and I'm still upset. It's not as bad, but I cooled off a little bit. And then she said something else, and it made me very upset again, to the point that I didn't want to be around anyone. And that's whenever I jumped out of the car while it was moving. But that one, so it wasn't.
You're just like, fuck you, instantly out of the car.
Yeah, because like it's not like when I jumped out, I didn't like GTA hop out of the car.
You weren't like leaping.
I opened the door and I put my foot out. Like, you know how when you're on a swing and you put your feet down trying to get it. So
yes.
I put my foot out and then my foot's just dragging. And then I just hopped out after that. Yeah, I'm trying to get the car to stop. It's going like I don't know. We're coming off of a ramp going down the road, so we're going.
Oh my God.
We're going like 25, 30 at least. I'm trying to get my foot to stop us from going 25 miles in this.
You're trying to stop the car with your foot.
Exactly.
Okay.
Without the pedal.
Makes sense.
And I hopped out of the fucking car, and I did like a roll on the ground, and my jacket didn't get dirty, luckily.
I mean, blessings.
I was so frustrated. I didn't have my jacket on. Something happened. I took the jacket off. I think I took the jacket off and threw it in the car because they stopped the car. I took the jacket off and I threw it in the car, and then I walked on the freeway.
Oh my God.
So yeah, that is definitely it's very embarrassing. But here's the thing, because I feel like to the average person it wouldn't be embarrassing. But what I said earlier, I kind of have like an I don't care attitude about a lot of stuff. It doesn't bother me. Like when I look back on it, I'm like, that was fun.
It's a funny moment.
Yeah.
Like we've all thrown up in a public place. I've thrown up in a public place many times. And it's just funny.
I wouldn't do it again, but
I would hope it wouldn't happen again, but
yeah,
sometimes shit happens.
I remember I got really drunk one night by myself, threw up twice in the house. Like it was just off of the E&J stuff. Like there's so many. I told like the more serious one and the goofier one. I mean, I can't really think of too many because I know there's a lot. I have a lot.
I mean, Joey, the fact that you jumped out of a car not once, but twice in the same night and tried to stop the car by your foot. It's just amazing.
I was gone that night. It was my birthday. I felt like I could do anything.
You can on your birthday. You can do whatever you want on your birthday.
Besides stop a car with your foot.
Right. Lesson learned for everyone. Don't try it.
Please don't. Save yourself the time. And your shoes will get scuffed. You don't want that.
No, that's not good. Although I believe you said your jacket was not.
My jacket was, it looked like it was untouched. It definitely rolled in some dirt and it was clean. Didn't have to wash it.
I think that's some talent.
You know what? It didn't get dirty from that. It got dirty because her makeup got on the shoulder.
Oh,
yeah. So I did have to wash it, but not because of that. So it didn't get dirty because, and it has white in it. So you would think that it would have got dirty because of that, but no, her makeup was on it. So it's lame.
It is lame. It happens though. I get it. I totally get it. Wow. I loved those moments so much. I'm so glad you had two. And you're like, I don't have one, but I have two. I'm like, yes, please share them with me. I love it so much. All right. So let's shout out where everybody can follow you at.
This is the worst part for me.
Okay. I mean, I'll put it in the bio.
You can find me at Joey Purse on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. No spaces, no underscores, anything. It's just all one word. If you'd like to follow me on Facebook, you can add me as a friend at Joey Space Purse. If you'd like to keep up with my stand-up, follow my Instagram or Facebook. If you would just like video content, just follow the obvious video platforms.
Got a little bit of everything. Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. I had such a good time. It was awesome. And I'll see you guys next week.